I'm Wayne. I'm coming from the main organizer of the this year's Pride. I'm also a board member of this organization called Taiwan Rainbow Civil Action Association. So basically, this organization was founded in 2012, and our main task, of course, is to organize every year's Pride in Taiwan.
Could you please just briefly describe your organization's history and mandate, and what does Pride symbolize for you and your organization?
Sure. Actually, as you may know, the Pride in Taiwan started 18 years ago, which was held by another NGO in Taiwan called Hotline. And after that, the LGBT community started to work together to organize the Pride. But soon we found out we need a formal registered organization to do all the operations and also to do all the organization work. So in year 2012, we formally organized one NGO in Taiwan focusing on organizing the Pride. That's basically the main job of this organization. And for us, Pride is very important in LGBT movement because it's a way to show we are proud to be part of LGBT community. Also, it's also a good opportunity to walk on the street to get the visibility for the whole Taiwan community. That's a very important educational purpose. Meanwhile, each year we will have different things that will help us to communicate the important issues we want the Taiwan society to know. So basically, that's how we define the position of the Pride in Taiwan LGBT movement.
The next question is, what activities or programs regarding Pride were you, as an a Pride organizer, providing before the COVID outbreak?
Okay, so luckily in Taiwan, we can still hold a physical event. So basically this year we are the main organizer. We also invited another 12 organizations in Taiwan across LGBT, gender, and also human rights group to join us as a co-organizer. So each of them actually has their own event in Pride Month, which is October in Taiwan. They all hold their own event in that month. For example, one organization hold an event talking about workplace equality. They invite people who already coming out in their workplace to share how they do that, what's the impact to the whole company, these kind of things. So basically, we have physical events from 12 co-organizers in Taiwan. Also, we also have two physical events. We invite one lesbian politicians, Taipei civil members. She's out formally, and she talked about basically how and why she want to participate in a political environment. We also invite another gay writers who just published his new book and share about his feelings and ideas regarding the book. So basically, we have physical events across different topic before the Pride.
Has the COVID-19 affected the work that your organization has done about Pride?
Well, not quite. Just like I said, we are lucky that basically the whole things was quite under control in Taiwan. But still, in the beginning, it's around in May, we start to do the fundraising. At that time, it's not that clear whether we can have this kind of large scale event. So it's really hard to get a fundraising at that moment. But as the things get clear, we get good business sponsorship this year. So we finally, in the end, we got enough money to hold the event. So that's the first effect. The other effect actually probably as you may know, LGBT I think that in the travel industry, COVID-19 has a very significant impact. The hotel, airlines, they all struggle financially. So actually this year we launched a program called LGBT Friendly Hotels. We got very good response from the hotel industry. Many hotels, big names, or like home-owned, like Airbnb things, they all participate in this program. So actually, turnout is very popular, and people are really happy to see that we can also offer help to the travel industry for the Pride time.
So I know that you said that like COVID wasn't really a big problem in Taiwan and things like that, but has it like what have you been able to do for Pride 2020 despite like the virus? Because I know that like some people can't travel to Taiwan, things like that. So there might be like smaller expected guest attendees or like more than you expected.
Yeah, actually, the total number of attendees actually is fewer than last year. Last year, it was around 220,000. This year, we have like 130. And I think the reason why we have decreasing number of attendees is exactly what you said. We don't have foreign friends coming here and join us this year. But still, we try to follow the government's policy to prevent any like pandemic events. For example, this year we asked people who register to join us, person or groups, they all provide their contact info so that whenever necessary, the government can still reach them. So we still follow the government policy, asking people to provide their contact. Meanwhile, we also encourage people to wear face masks whenever possible. I know it's really hard at that time, but I still see many people actually wear the face mask, which is really good. So I think basically we are in a Taiwan is will control the whole thing really well. So we just follow the government policy and try to make sure people all attend safely and sound.
Are you guys planning Pride 2021? And what are you looking at raising a particular theme or around particular groups for Pride 2021?
Well, it's too early to talk about next year. But basically, we have a fix. Basically, our Pride will be the last Saturday of each October. So basically, yes, I think we will plan, but not at this moment. We are still trying to get some rest because we only have one full-time employee. We have like over 100 volunteers to helping us to organize this event. We all have full-time job in the daytime, just like me. So we are still kind of in a resting mode. Yeah, but yes, we will plan. And I think just like previous years, we will still try to figure out a thing that we want the Taiwan society to know. This year we talk about beauty my own way, which means being self is beauty, regardless what's your body shape, and regardless what's your gender identity. So this year's thing, but next year we'll plan. First of all, we'll try to check, we'll look around what's some important gender issues in Taiwan. Then we will plan our thing accordingly, but not at this moment.
What are the reactions from your community or groups hearing that there might not be a physical Pride this year?
Well, I think most people start to thinking go online, just like in the I think it's in June. I think there's like global wide the online Pride. So I know some groups actually decided to participate and join that. So I think that's the first reaction people will have. But luckily in Taiwan, we are really clear that the message we deliver to the community is very clear. We follow the government instruction. We didn't see any policy saying that we cannot hold this kind of big event. So we will continue. So basically, I think the whole community still kind of have some kind of confidence that we will have a physical event this year. But we still, just like I said, we try to educate them, all the necessary instructions they need to follow. So I don't think people are really nervous about not having this kind of pride this year because we are in a really good shape.
What are your hopes for World Pride 2021 in Copenhagen?
Well, I think at this moment there is no really Taiwan Pride organizer actually participate in World Pride at this moment. We were contacted before, but we are just like I said, we don't have resource to go there. But still, in terms of World Pride, we still think that Taiwan has a very Taiwan is kind of in a leading position regarding LGBT issue in Asia. So we will try to do that, try to share our experiences with people or NGOs from other countries, especially in Asia, to share our experience and provide necessary support whenever necessary. I think that's what we can do at this moment. And hopefully this organization will have enough resources to go and participate in the World Pride in the future.
Oh, sorry.
Winnie, I have a question. Can you explain to the viewers why Taiwan Pride has become actually the biggest pride in Asia? Is there a reason for it or the history? Do you know why?
I think that's more about the overall atmosphere in Taiwan. And I think, for example, I went to the Pride in Korea in Seoul before. It's very impressive experience. You walk on the street, the police will close the street to prevent any violence from the anti-LGBT group. I think overall speaking, Taiwan society is kind of more open to LGBT issue comparing to other countries in Asia. I know in early years, actually, I think the Pride in Bangkok actually was the biggest, if I remember correctly. But since we start to do this kind of Pride, I think, yes, more than people come and join us, especially people from other Asian countries. So I think because the overall atmosphere is more friendly to LGBT community, I think that's the one thing. The other thing is it's more, I think it's also because of me as an organizer, we try to balance between fun part and also the social education part. We try to make a balance between the two. And finally, I think one important thing is that more and more business and individuals are willing to donate to make the Pride happen. We got enough resources to grow the event bigger and bigger. I think that's also a very important thing. Like this year, we got many big brands join us as the sponsor, like Microsoft, like the pharma company GSK, Gilead. We also have, some other local big name as well. So I think that the business side, they are also willing to allocate resources for Pride more and more. So I think that's also the reason why we are able to grow.
Do you or your community still have any worries left about the new normal?
Worry about what? Sorry.
About the new normal, like if there's any.
Well, I think we are kind of in a good shape. So I don't think people really anticipate that there will be no Pride in next year or coming 1 or 2 years. I think people they didn't have this kind of fear at this moment. But I have to say, as an organizer, we will prepare. For example, this year we got a sponsorship from Google and Facebook, so we like live streaming the whole event for the whole event. So we are preparing ourselves for going online. I think that's the thing. We will try to figure out, if things really goes really bad, then how we can react. But I think for the whole society or community, well, I think we are really okay.
Winnie, I was wondering if you say the two things about the success of your Taiwan Pride is one is the social education. Can you give more information or an example about not only having the pride but also educating the people?
Yes, I think for example, we will like this year we invite a group focusing on like um, teenager human rights and actually more about voting rights. It's actually it's not a new, it's a kind of new topic in Taiwan at this moment, you know, because in Taiwan, under the current law, people under 20 they are not allowed to vote. But we are trying to fix that, you know, so that people above 18 can already vote. That's the way we are trying to push for. It's a new topic. It somehow people probably don't see a clear connection between this social movement and LGBT, but we include this kind of this topic into our pride. People from the organization get on stage and share their opinion to the whole public, which is like over 100,000 people on the in the pride, share why we want to do that. And we also share what's the connection we see between LGBT community and this issue. I think it's a very good opportunity for the social education for people in the pride. But we also get a chance to invite like famous singers in Taiwan. So she also share her opinion regarding LGBT issues, and this actually get published in many medias. So actually people even outside LGBT community get a chance to see, okay, what's the issue here and what's their feeling about that. So I think that's also a way to do the social education for the pride.
We need the parade or the event on the 31st of October. Can you talk a bit more about it? Your impression, was it a success? Are you satisfied? The people showing up?
Well, basically, I'm quite happy with the turnout regarding the number of participants and also how we are really able to operate the whole thing very smoothly at that day because it's such a big event. We have like around like almost 800 volunteer at that day to for the whole pride. You know, we have two routes, so we need people volunteer on the street to direct people to work on the right place. So we have like over almost 800 volunteers. So it's really hard to manage, but we still make it. So I think that's very important because we are really happy to see people are willing to spend their time as a volunteer to work on this. That's the first thing. The other thing I think it's also good success, just like I mentioned, we also get really good media exposure. We have we have local media and also the foreign media as well, like international media like NBC. We also got I think even we got a news reports from Japan as well. So we got really good media exposure, which is also very good. And I think people are really happy. Participants are happy. Um, you know, work on the pride and listening to the singers singing about why they want to join us. So I think it's also very good. So I would say it's a good turnout regarding number of participants and also how we manage the event and also good, a very good media exposure.
A final question would be, Winnie, do you have a message for the people out there in the world, despite the COVID, like a warm message or like kind words to say to the communities?
Well, I would say please stay safe and hopefully we can see you next year in Taiwan.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Thank
Winnie.
you.
Winnie, I have one more question that has nothing to do with